Welcome to the top 10 Doomsday Cultists. Ever since Nietzsche told us that God is dead and mankind killed him, human beings have sought to worship at the feet of other deities, like the National Health Service, the BBC, and COVID. But now that we have squeezed the virus dry, we're on to the real Green Deal, the climate catastrophe. And number 10, we have Extinction Rebellion. Let's begin with a calm, reasoned assessment of what the future looks like from Roger Hallam, the co-founder of VR, in his cheery missive, Advice to Young People in the Face of Annihilation. Roger says, "A gang of boys will break into your house demanding food. They will see your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, and they will gang rape her on the kitchen table. They will force you to watch, laughing at you. And in the end, they will accuse you of enjoying it. They'll take a cigarette out and burn your eyes with it. You will not be able to see anything again. This is the reality of climate change." He doesn't seem unhinged at all, does he, Rog? Not to be outdone, the Blair babies at the Met Office are up the ante this week.
Good afternoon to you. Earlier on today, apparently a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
They used to predict the weather based on science and facts, but this week they turned their hands to science fiction, putting out an extraordinary report that by 2100, Britain would resemble the world of Mad Max, with scorched earth, child labour, enforced conscription, and worst of all, the privatised NHS. Get in. No. Call me old-fashioned, but all I want from the weather people is, will I need to take an umbrella to work tomorrow, and what are the odds of a white Christmas this year?
Don't worry, there isn't.
In his 80s, everyone's favourite war criminal, Tony Blair. Rather than pacing a jail cell close to The Hague where he belongs, he's grifting his own way into the climate change debate. Tony says it's not too late to avert climate catastrophe. All you need to do is donate huge sums of money to the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. Blair said his people are now embedded in governments around the world, like lockdown Leninist Jacinda the Hun, who began her own cultural revolution working in Tony Blofeld's policy unit. I, for one, take Tony's predictions seriously. He does, after all, have direct experience of flattening large portions of the earth with fire from the sky. In at 7, once and still irreplaceable national treasure David Attenborough. He used to delight our screens with scenes of ingenious killer whales plucking cuddly little seals off the beach before taking them out into deeper water to play volleyball with them. But David, long-term patron of Population Matters, if that sounds spooky I suggest you Google it, said all of our environmental problems would become easier to solve if we had fewer people. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before. Anyway, next up at 6 are our old jet-setting chums at the World Economic Forum, who say in the future you will own nothing and you will be happy, which is great for them as they will own everything and they'll be thrilled. At number 5, we have perennial optimist St. Greta of Thunberg.
Or blah, blah, blah.
She's torn a generation away from cider, regrettable sexual encounters and experimentation with different coloured tablets in nightclubs, and instead turned children into nut-allergic, parent-lecturing eco-balls. Remember the old saying, vegetarians don't live longer. It just feels like they do. Methinks it's time for St. Greta to go back to school.
How dare you?
At 4, national treasures Harry and Meghan.
You gotta give all you got, gotta give all you got for love.
Harry says climate change is one of the 2 biggest challenges facing humanity, the other being their unending search for privacy via long interviews with Oprah. To do their bit for the climate, the royal wokenesses are expanding from their $17 million Montecito estate to somewhere with a bit more room. Betwixt taking private jets to Elton John's house, Harry found the time to attend the fabled Google Climate Change Retreat, to listen to other world-renowned climatologists such as Naomi Campbell, Harry Styles, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Katy Perry. If that doesn't give you hope for mankind, ladies and gentlemen, then I don't know what will. In at 3, modern-day Noah, Sadiq Khan. Each morning, Sadiq stares wistfully at the sky for signs of the Great Flood caused, of course, by the imminent climate change, which he has declared a public health emergency. To counter this, Captain Ulez, Mr. Taxation, in the name of salvation, now wants to charge London's motorists by the mile, which will cost him a few quid as he pops out his front door, hops on his bike, cycles round the corner past the paparazzi, drops his bike off with one of his bodyguards, hops into his £200,000 penguin-killing supercharged V8 Range Rover and continues on to work. In at number 2 is Prince Charles. Prince Charles was so concerned that COP26 was literally the last chance saloon to save the planet from runaway climate change that he put down his silver spoon, had his butler clear away his egg and soldiers, took a golf buggy a mile down the corridor of one of his 7 mansions, straight to the helipad and then on to his private jet to Glasgow. Thank you, Your Highness.
You don't have one of these teleprompters?
No.
Prince Charles says that we have a dangerously narrow window to act, and I agree with him. Her wonderful Majesty won't be around forever, and we have a dangerously narrow window to make sure that this eco-mentalist doesn't ever take over the throne. But once again, topping the poll, at number 1, is our very own dear leader of the People's Republic of Great Britain and the Green Party, Boris Johnson. We need to get rid of coal, cars and cash, says Boris, but presumably not wine, cheese, mistresses or Downing Street raves. He said, "It's 1 minute to midnight," at which point a startled number 10A, briefcase in hand, ran round the corner to the Tesco Express for some more camembert and claret so they could party the night away. As I said at the beginning, mankind will always search for meaning, something to rally around for the greater good. But instead of celebrating the innovation that children can bring into the world, we are teaching them that they are the very problem themselves. That's not good for mankind. But don't worry, chaps. Wait till we get on to education. See you next week.